Super Smash Bros. Melee is a platform party fighter game with a unique and weird history. A lot of it has to do with the competitive scene and how it's kept this 23-year-old game alive. About 10 years ago, I would be watching a lot of Melee tournaments. These excited me so much anytime a huge tournament like The Big House or Apex or even Super Smash Con was streamed. I love the community so much because of its effort to keep pushing this game to its absolute limit. It's such a great scene. And with such a great scene comes people with very notable tags, or the alias in which the player can go by. Some of these names are relatively normal for gamers like M2K or Mewtwo King, Mango, Swedish Delights, Magi, Silent Wolf, or even maybe Professor Pro. Or even a name like Hungrybox. This one does kind of sound a little weird, but even though this game excites him just a little bit, he is kind of good. Others have decided to be funny and give themselves some pretty unfortunate names. Sometimes, I imagine someone going to their first tournament and hearing something along the lines of,
"Can I get a penicillin Krillin and a dumb trans girl on setup 9?
Honestly, I would not be able to focus on this set and then get force-socked by the local Zelda, aptly named Weed Lesbian. Well, anyways, here's a couple of funny and weird Melee names. If I didn't say your favorite player's funny name, please let me know in the comments. And please hit that like and subscribe while you're at it. Before I say my list, I'd like to explain my reasoning. These are just names I thought were really funny or just entertaining enough to me. That, or there is a great and funny story behind it. Not only that, sometimes I like to imagine what my opponent looks like before I have to fight them based off their name. Alright, here we go. Let's start off with a couple of classics. Dr. PP, a somewhat good or something like that Falco from North Carolina. His story is a bit of a favorite because in order for him to sign into Evil Geniuses in 2014, he needed a less childish name. Of course, since Dr. PP was not going to cut it, he appropriately named himself to PPMD.
Uh-oh.
Fair. Oh,
Wow,
yes,
the
yes,
charge.
yes.
Oh,
No,
and
let's
this
go.
is
That was actually a
going
fight.
too low at the side B. PPMD and another Apex gets himself right there in Grand Finals.
From winner's side.
Yes, sir.
This is Sweden Grand Finals, now here at Apex.
Another weird favorite of mine would be S2J, an explosive Falcon from NorCal. This seems perfectly normal, but if you go back in time, his name originally used to be Smoke Two Joints, but I guess he also wanted to shorten it to seem appealing to sponsors as well. Looking back at his wiki page, he's gone by other names, like shoutouts to Jesus or even 2SJ, and I think that's also really funny. He still competes regularly and is still considered one of the best Falcons out there in Melee, being ranked 16 in 2023. There is another Captain Falcon named Wizrobe. He is in the opposite side of the playstyle of S2J. He's a very optimal and patient player. There is a skit where both of these players make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You have Wizrobe making a sandwich, so clean, pristine, and serene. It then cuts to S2J making a sandwich, making a mess on a counter, using his hands to spread the jelly and peanut butter, and ends up making a huge mess. But in the end, you know both of those sandwiches are still pretty good. I also just like Wizrobe's name because when I first heard the name, I imagined a robe of a wizard, and that entertained me enough to want to add him here.
Wizrobe takes it! The last CO in Daytona. Absolute insanity. I don't think anybody could have possibly predicted how that set was going to turn out. The twists and the turns and the final result and just the way that was happening, and you see Wizrobe.
Another favorite but lesser known player is Glock in My Toyota, a Game & Watch main from the Northeast. I don't know anything else about him aside from hee funny name, and I think he's like really good at Monkey Ball 2. He kind of speedruns that game in 2 Deluxe and other Monkey Ball games. He has first place in 18 different categories, 10 of them being just regular Monkey Ball 2 and 7 of them being on Monkey Ball Deluxe 2. I showed my friend a work in progress of this video, and he sent me one of the funniest sets I've seen to this date. It's a match that happened in New York between a Martha and a Fox. Get this, their names are a horse that can drive and a horse that can't drive.
Oh my god.
If any of you were curious, the horse that can drive won the set. You know what they say, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make a drink. but lead a horse at a DMB, and it will win sets. Here are some honorable mentions. Tom Selleck's mustache, a Sheik from Oklahoma. Jumbo Goku joints, a Fox from New York. Grandma's Got Game, an Ohio Yoshi. Dirty Lasagna from Louisiana. Grandma's Cleavage from North California. Grab to Win, an Ice Climber main from Wisconsin. This one's just scary and funny at the same time, since Ice Climbers is a character that gets a lot from grabs. I wanted to end it there because originally my small brain said, you can only use tags that are registered on Smash Wiki. I felt like I was limiting myself and I had to include this profile on this site that's given me way too many laughs. Shout out to CursedTags for having these pictures of these weird tags and matchups. Most of these tags come from Slippy, a community effort to make Melee playable online. A lot of the names that I've seen have created really funny situations like this. I don't know, man, maybe I'm a simple person, but these are really great. There are so many resources out there to find player names, silly or not. You have the Smashers app, PG Stats, Liquipedia, and so many more. I'm glad we live in a time where all this data is out and easily accessible, so I can tell you these tags. I'm also glad to be in a time where I could just rant about silly Smash Brothers names for a few minutes. Just recently, Masahiro Sakurai, the man responsible for creating Smash Brothers, has apologized for players with over 1,000 hours in this game, just like me. But if I was the creator of a game and players had silly names, I too would apologize for someone fighting against the name Sex Machine.